संस्थापको लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मान्नो शरण्यकरो राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्द भजना नन्देन मत्तालिको वन्दे रूप सनातन प्रभुयुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको वन्दे रूप सनातन प्रभुयुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको
Yeah. Close the door. Thank you. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So, tonight we're on Madhya Lila chapter 19, text 17. The Lord instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Sanatana Goswami used to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam in an assembly of 20 or 30 learned Brahmin scholars. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur gives the following commentary on the words Bhagavat Vichara. As confirmed in the Mundaka Upanishad, there are two kinds of educational systems. One deals with transcendental knowledge, Paravidya, and the other with material knowledge, Aparavidya. All the Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva Veda, along with their corollaries known as Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirupta, Chanda, and Jyotish, belong to the inferior system of material knowledge, or Paravidya. By Paravidya, one can understand the Akshara, Brahman, or the absolute truth. As far as the Vedic literature is concerned, the Vedanta Sutra is accepted as the Paravidya. Srimad Bhagavatam is an explanation of that Paravidya. Those who aspire for liberation, mukti or moksha, and introduce themselves as Vedantika are also equal to those groups aspiring to improve religion or dharma, economic development, artha, and sense gratification, kama. Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha are called chaturvarga. They are all within the system of inferior material knowledge. Any literature giving information about the spiritual world, spiritual life, spiritual identity, and the spirit soul is called Paravidya. Srimad Bhagavatam does not have anything to do with the materialistic way of life. It gives transcendental information to educate people in the superior system of Paravidya. Sanatana Goswami was engaged in discussing the Bhagavad Vidya, which means he discussed transcendental superior knowledge. Those who are karmis, jnanis, or yogis are not actually fit to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. Only Vaishnavas or pure devotees are fit to discuss that literature. Although Srimad Bhagavatam is counted among the Puranas, it is called a spotless Purana because it does not discuss anything material. It is liked by transcendental Vaishnava devotees. The subject matter found in Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for Paramahamsas. As it is said, Paramo nirmarat sharanam satam vedyam. A Paramahamsa is one who does not live in the material world and who does not envy others. In Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is discussed to arouse the living entity to the transcendental position of jnana, or knowledge, and vairagya, renunciation. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, the seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. This is not sentiment. Knowledge and renunciation can be obtained through devotional service. Bhaktya Shruta Gritaya. That is, by arousing one's dormant devotional consciousness, Krishna consciousness. When Krishna consciousness is aroused, it relieves one from fruitive activity for economic improvement and material enjoyment. This relief is technically called Naiskarmya. And when one is relieved, he is no longer interested in working hard for sense gratification. Srimad Bhagavatam is Srila Vyasadev's last mature contribution, and one should read and hear it in an assembly of realized souls while engaging in devotional service. At such a time, one can be liberated from all material bondage. This was the course taken by Sanatana Goswami, who retired from government service to study Srimad Bhagavatam with learned scholars. While Sanatana Goswami was studying Srimad Bhagavatam in the assembly of learned Brahmins, one day the Nawab of Bengal and another person suddenly appeared. Purport. The full name of the Nawab of Bengal, Hussain Shah, was Alodina Saidya Hussaina Saha Salipa Makka, and he ruled Bengal for 23 years, in the Christian era 1498 to 1521. Sanatana Goswami was studying Srimad Bhagavatam with the scholars in those years. As soon as all the Brahmins and Sanatana Goswami saw the Nawab appear, they all stood up and respectively gave him a sitting place to honor him. Purport. Although Nawab Hussain Shah was a Malecha Yavana, he was nonetheless the governor of the country, and the learned scholars and Sanatana Goswami offered him all the respect due to a king or a governor. When a person occupies an exalted executive post, one should consider that he has acquired the grace of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 10:41, Krishna says, "Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor." Whenever we see something exalted, we must consider it part of the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A powerful man, Vibhu Timat Sattvam, is one who has obtained the grace of the Lord or has derived some power from him. In Bhagavad Gita 7:10, Krishna says, "I am the power of the powerful." The learned Brahmin scholars showed respect to Nawab Hussain Shah because he represented a fraction of Krishna's power. The Nawab said, "I sent my physician to you, and he has reported that you are not diseased. As far as he could see, you are completely healthy. I am depending on you to carry out so many of my activities, but you have given up your governmental duties to sit here at home. You have spoiled all my activities. What is your intention? Please tell me frankly." Sanatana Goswami replied, "You can no longer expect any service from me. Please arrange for someone else to tend to the management." Becoming angry with Sanatana Goswami, the Nawab said, "Your elder brother is acting just like a plunderer. By killing many living entities, your elder brother has destroyed all Bengal. Now here you are destroying all my plans." Sanatana Goswami said, "You are the supreme ruler of Bengal and are completely independent. Whenever someone commits a fault, you punish him accordingly." Hearing this, the Nawab of Bengal stood up and returned to his home. He ordered the arrest of Sanatana Goswami so that he would not be able to leave. Purport. It is said that the relationship between the Nawab of Bengal and Sanatana Goswami was very intimate. The Nawab used to consider Sanatana Goswami his younger brother, and when Sanatana Goswami showed a very strong intention to resign, the Nawab, feeling familial affection, essentially said, "I am your elder brother, but I do not look after the state management. My only business is attacking other states with my soldiers and fighting everywhere as a plunderer. Because I am a meat eater, Yavana, I am used to hunting all kinds of living beings. In this way, I am destroying all kinds of living entities in Bengal. While engaged in this destructive business, I am hoping that you will tend to the administration of the state. Since I, your elder brother, am engaged in such a destructive business, you, being my younger brother, should look after the state management. If you do not, how will things continue?" This talk was based on a family relationship, and Sanatana Goswami also replied, in an intimate and joking way. Essentially, he told the Nawab, "My dear brother, you are the independent ruler of Bengal. You can act in whatever way you like, and if someone commits a fault, you can punish him accordingly." In other words, Sanat Goswami was saying that since the Nawab was accustomed to acting like a plunderer, he should go ahead and take action. Since Sanatan was not showing much enthusiasm for performing his duty, the Nawab should dismiss him from his service. The Nawab could understand the intention of Sanatan Goswami's statement. He therefore left in an angry mood and ordered Sanatan Goswami's arrest. At this time, the Nawab was going to attack the province of Orissa, and he told Sanatan Goswami, "Please come along with me." Purport. Hussein Shah attacked the neighboring province of Orissa in the Christian era, 1502. At that time, he conquered the feudal princes there. Sanatana Goswami replied, "You are going to Orissa to give pain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For this reason, I am powerless to go with you." The Nawab again arrested Sanatana Goswami and kept him in prison. At this time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed for Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri. The two persons who went to Jagannath Puri to inquire about the Lord's departure returned and informed Rupa Goswami that the Lord had already departed for Vrindavan. Upon receiving this message from his two messengers, Rupa Goswami immediately wrote a letter to Sanatana Goswami saying that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had departed for Vrindavan. In his letter to Sanatana Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami wrote, "We are two brothers, are starting out to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You must also somehow or other get released and come to meet us." Purport. The two brothers here mentioned are Rupa Goswami and his younger brother, Anupama Malik. Rupa Goswami was informing Sanatana Goswami that he should join him and his younger brother. Rupa Goswami further informed Srila Sanatana Goswami, "I have left a deposit of 10,000 coins with the grocer. Use that money to get out of prison. Somehow or other, get yourself released and come to Vrindavan." After writing this, the two brothers, Rupa Goswami and Anupama, went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami's younger brother was a great devotee, whose actual name was Sri Vallabha, but he was given the name Anupama Malik. Sri Rupa Goswami and Anupama Malik went to Prayag, and they were very pleased to hear the news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. At Prayag, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see the temple of Bindu Madhava, and many hundreds of thousands of people followed him just to meet him. Some of the people following the Lord were crying. Some were laughing, some dancing, and some chanting. Indeed, some of them were rolling on the ground, exclaiming, "Krishna, Krishna." Prayag is located at the confluence of two rivers, the Ganges and Yamuna. Although these rivers were not able to flood Prayag with water, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inundated the whole area with waves of ecstatic love for Krishna. Seeing the great crowd, the two brothers remained standing in a secluded place. They could see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ecstatic to see Lord Bindu Madhava. The Lord was loudly chanting the holy name of Hari. Dancing in ecstatic love and raising his arms, he asked everyone to chant Hari, Hari. Everyone was astounded to see the greatness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Indeed, I cannot properly describe the pastimes of the Lord of Prayag. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had made an acquaintance with a Brahmin from Deccan, South India, and that Brahmin invited him for meals and took him to his place. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting in a solitary place in the home of that Deccan Brahmin, Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabha Anupama Malik came to see him. Seeing the Lord from a distance, the two brothers put two clumps of straw between their teeth and immediately fell down on the ground like rods, offering him obeisances. Both brothers were overwhelmed with ecstatic emotion, and reciting various Sanskrit verses, they stood up and fell down again and again. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to see Sri Rupa Goswami, and he told him, stand up, my dear Rupa, come here." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "It is not possible to describe Krishna's mercy, for he has delivered you both from the well of material enjoyment." Lord Krishna said, "Even though a person is a very learned scholar of the Sanskrit Vedic literatures, he is not accepted as my devotee unless he is pure in devotional service. Even though a person is born in a family of dog eaters, he is very dear to me if he is a pure devotee who has no motive to enjoy fruitive activities or mental speculation. Indeed, all respect should be given to him, and whatever he offers should be accepted. Such devotees are as worshipable as I am." Purport. This verse is included in the Hari Bhakti Vilas compiled by Sanatana Goswami. After reciting this verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced his two brothers, and out of his causeless mercy, he placed his feet on their heads. After receiving the Lord's causeless mercy, the two brothers folded their hands and in great humility offered the following prayers unto the Lord. O most beneficent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. We offer our respectful obeisances unto that merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has converted all the three worlds which were maddened by ignorance, and saved them from their diseased condition by making them mad with the nectar from the treasure house of love of God. Let us take full shelter of that Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, whose activities are wonderful. This is a verse from Govinda Lila Rita. After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set them down by his side and asked them, "What news do you have of Sanatan?" Rupa Goswami replied, "Sanatan has now been arrested by the government of Hussain Shah. If you kindly save him, he can be liberated from that entanglement." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately replied, "Sanatan has already been released from his confinement, and he will very soon meet with me." The Brahmin then requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept his lunch. Rupa Goswami also remained there that day. Balabhadra Bhattacharya invited the two brothers to take lunch also. The remnants of food from the plate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were offered to them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected his residence beside the confluence of the Ganges and the Yamuna, a place called Triveni. The two brothers, Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabha, selected their residence near the Lord's. At that time, Sri Vallabha Bhatta was staying at Aidanya Gram, and when he heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had arrived, he went to his place to see him. Purport. Vallabha Bhatta was a great learned scholar of Vaishnavism. In the beginning, he was very much devoted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But since he thought that he could not receive proper respect from him, he later joined the Vishnu Swami sect and became the Acharya of that sect. His sect is celebrated as the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya. This Sampradaya has had great influence in Vrindavan near Gokul and in Bombay. Vallabha Bhatt wrote many books, including a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam called Subodhini Tika, and notes on Vedanta Sutra in the form of Anubhasya. He also wrote a combination of 16 short works called Sodasha Granth. The village where he was staying, Idalagram or Adevigram, was near the confluence of the rivers Ganges and Yamuna on the other side of the Yamuna from Prayag, about 1 mile from the river. A temple of Lord Vishnu there still belongs to the Vallabha Sampradaya. Vallabhabad was originally from a place in southern India called Trailanga. There is a railway station there called Nidada Balu. 16 miles from that station is a village called Kankadabada or Kankunra Padu. A learned Brahmin named Lakshman Dikshita used to live there, and Vallabhabata was his son. There are 5 sections of the Brahmin community of Andhra Pradesh, known as Bela Nati, Vegi Nati, Marathi Nati, Telugu Nati, and Kashala Nati. Out of these 5 Brahminical communities, Vallabhacharya took his birth in the community of Bela Nati in the year Christian era 1478. According to some people, Vallabhabhacharya's father took sannyas before Vallabha's birth, and he returned home to take Vallabhacharya as his son. According to the opinion of others, Vallabhacharya was born in 1400 on the Ekadashi day of the dark moon in the month of Chaitra, and he took his birth in a Brahmin family surnamed Kampa Patanbaru. According to this account, his father's name was Lakshman Bhatta Dikshita, and he was born in Champakaranya. In someone else's opinion, Vallabhacharya appeared near the village named Champa Jaragram, which is near a railway station named Rajima in Madhya Pradesh. After studying for 11 years at Varanasi, Vallabhacharya returned home. On his return, he heard that his father had departed from the material world. Keeping his brother and his mother at home, he went to the banks of the river Tungabhadra to a village named Vijayanagara, where he enlightened Krishnadev, the grandson of King Ukkaraj. After that, he travelled throughout India twice on trips lasting 6 years each. Thus, he passed 18 years and became victorious in his discussions of revealed truth. When he was 30 years old, he married Mahalakshmi, who belonged to the same Brahmin community as his. Near Govardhan Hill, he established a deity in the valley. Finally, he came to Aidanya, which is on the other side of the Yamuna from Prayag. Vallabhacharya had 2 sons, Gopinath and Vitilashvara, and in old age he accepted the renounced order around the Christian era 1530. He passed from the material world at Varanasi. His book, known as Sodasha Granth, and his commentaries on Vedanta Sutra, Anubhasya, and Srimad Bhagavatam, Subodhini, are very famous. He wrote many other books besides. Vallabhabhacharya offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his obeisances, and the Lord embraced him. After that, they discussed topics about Krishna for some time. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt great ecstatic love when they began discussing Krishna, but the Lord checked his feelings because he felt shy before Vallabhabhat. Although the Lord restrained himself externally, ecstatic love raged within him. There was no checking that. Vallabhabhat was astonished to detect this. I like that expression, raged within him. Thereafter, Vallabhabhat invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch, and the Lord introduced the brothers Rupa and Vallabha to him. From a distance, the brothers Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabha fell on the ground and offered obeisances to Vallabhabhat with great humility. When Vallabhabhacharya walked toward them, they ran away to a more distant place. Rupa Goswami said, I am untouchable and most sinful. Please do not touch me. Vallabha Bhattacharya was very much surprised at this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, was very pleased, and he therefore spoke to him this description of Rupa Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Don't touch him, for he belongs to a very low caste. You are a follower of Vedic principles and are a well-experienced performer of many Vedic sacrifices. You also belong to the aristocracy." Purport. Generally, Brahmins are very puffed up with the false prestige because they belong to the aristocracy and perform many Vedic sacrifices. In South India especially, this fastidious position is most prominent. At any rate, this was the case 500 years ago. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually started a revolution against this Brahminical system by inaugurating the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By this chanting, one can be delivered regardless of caste, creed, color, or social position. Whoever chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is immediately purified due to the transcendental position of devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here hinting to Vallabhacharya that an exalted Brahman who makes sacrifices and follows Vedic principles should not neglect a person who is engaged in devotional service by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Actually, Rupa Goswami did not belong to a lower caste. He was from a highly aristocratic Brahmin family. But due to his association with the Muslim Nawab, he was considered fallen and was excommunicated from Brahmin society. However, due to his advanced devotional service, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted him as a Goswami. Vallabha Bhattacharya knew all this. One who is a devotee is above caste and creed, yet Vallabhacharya felt himself prestigious. The present head of the Vallabha Bhattacharya Sampradaya of Bombay is called Dikshita Maharaj. He is very friendly to our movement, and whenever we meet him, this learned Brahmin scholar highly praises the activities of the Hare Krishna movement. He is a life member of our society, and although he is a learned scholar in Brahminical caste tradition, he accepts our society and considers its members bona fide devotees of Lord Vishnu. Hearing the holy name constantly vibrated by the two brothers, Vallabha Bhattacharya could understand the hints of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vallabha Bhattacharya said, "Since these two are constantly chanting the holy name of Krishna, how can they be untouchable? On the contrary, they are most exalted." Purport. Vallabha Bhattacharya's admission of the brothers' exalted position should serve as a lesson to one who is falsely proud of his position as a Brahmin. Sometimes so-called Brahmanas do not recognize our European and American disciples as devotees or Brahmanas, and some Brahmanas are so proud that they do not allow them to enter temples. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here gives a great lesson. Although Vallabha Bhattacharya was a great authority on Brahmanism and a learned scholar, he admitted that those who chant the Lord's holy name are bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and are therefore exalted. Vallabha Bhattacharya then recited the following verse. My dear Lord, one who always keeps your holy name on his tongue becomes greater than an initiated Brahmin. Although he may be born in a family of dog-eaters, and may therefore be, by material calculation, be the lowest among men, he is still glorious.